Welcome back, everybody, to the 1954 DeSoto Fire Dome custom build. Yesterday I had the video of the underside of the deck lid primered. Today I decided to flip it over and do some much needed work to the top side of it. This deck lid has been primered with epoxy along with the Tamco 5310. So I decided to get it blocked out, see where I'm at with it, and I'll show you a little bit about what I did, what I had to do this thing to also get this deck lid to fit correctly. You can see some bare metal here. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I had to suck the skins in to get this corner to fit, as well as the other corner to fit correctly with the back quarters. Those are fitting perfect. Once I got everything where I needed it to be, I had to close my gaps in several different places on this deck lid. So I had to grind this back down, weld this corner, weld this edge all the way across to close this gap. Got it looking nice. Same thing over here. Had to add welds to the very edge of this deck lid. Get the gap closed. Now I've got bare metal showing. Same thing as this corner. Close the gap on this rounded corner. Got it formed really nice. The back edge took a lot of welding to close the gap. Got it all welded up. Ground down. Nice and flush. Gapped correctly with the rest of the quarter panel and the back pan. So what I will be doing now is I'm going to body work all these areas where I've welded. But before that, I'm going to epoxy primer this bare metal to seal it off for corrosion resistance, adhesion for the body filler, and the next step of primer. So what I'll be using, like I did previously, is the Car Rep 2K Epoxy aerosol. I'll hit the bare metal with 2 coats. I'll let that sit for an hour or so. I'll start laying down my body filler. Body filler I use, I kind of bounce around between brands, things that I'm using right now. I'm using the USC WG55, which is now called something different. It's the same product, but goes under a different name in the USC line. I can't think what it is right off the top of my head, but it's a rather creamy body filler. Spreads really nice, sands really nice. Really good performance. I'm really impressed with it. It's kind of what I go to. I used a couple other ones from USC. I've used the 3M Platinum. I've also used some of the Evercoat stuff. I keep going back to this. It seems to be a little cheaper than some of the other ones, but the quality is where it needs to be. My spreading board, I go to craft store, Joann Fabrics, Michaels, wherever you want to go to. Walmart has them. These metal decorative plates. I like to spread my body filler on those because you can just sand it right back down and keep going. Reuse it over and over and over again. Just something cheap. Works really well. Works great for me. Obviously, I like to use my RZ mask when I'm doing body work, sand and primer. I don't really recommend it for paint. You obviously want to use a quality respirator for paint work, but these are great for sanding, doing body work. Quick, easy on and off. Gets the job done. Using my Indasa 80 grit and 120 grit for this step. What I'm doing with this process here, this is my quick cut. I'm blocking this with 80 grit, my primer with 80 grit, my body filler with 80 grit. getting it shaped exactly the way I want, I'll come back into it with 120 grit, come back into the primer with 120 grit. I will then primer it again with the Tamco. Then the next process, I'll step it up 180, 220, and probably end up primering again. Right now I'm using the Durablocks. They're okay from what I'm doing right now. Once I get to the next step in this process, I will be switching over to the linear blocks. Those will be my complete finish out products. I'll be blocking the rest of the car all the way through the process into wet sanding with the linear blocks, and those will be my finished blocks for the rest of this project. But that's what I'm using right now. So any questions for the process I'm doing? Any suggestions? Hit me up. I'm here to answer questions, talk about the process, talk about the car, talk about whatever. So other than that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, stay tuned.